stop your dreaming. Can't you see their spear points gleaming? See their warrior pennons streaming to this battlefield.
Sing!
Men of Alex, stand ye steady.
Come on, sing!
Cannot be ever said.
If you consider yourself to be an absolute patriot of Games Workshop's motherland, the United Kingdom if you didn't know, and Nottingham, England to be precise, or maybe you're just a bit of an Anglophile, then perhaps you've been wondering how you could share your love for the Empire of both the British kind and the grimdark 40,000 Warhammers kind. Not only in your everyday life, but when you get to rolling dice too. Well chaps, grab your red coats, finish your cups of tea, it's time to give the Warhammer 40k universe a good rogering. Mostly when you think of the Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum, if you're a pedantic fuckbag, you might be thinking about the boring Cadian fuckers or those Catachan Rambo turds. But what if I told you that once upon a time, Games Workshop had enough about them to have a glorious section of this otherwise quite dull and generic army? A portion dedicated to donning the finest uniforms, the greatest moustaches, and glorious helmets. Enter the Praetorian Guard. The Praetorian Guard regiments come from, you guessed it, Pretoria, a hive well relatively close to the Imperial Segmentum naval base at Bacca. The cities within are filled to the brim with troglodytes and reprobates, rascals and scoundrels, vermin and scum. Think of Pretoria a bit like how you'd think of Australia during the Empire. For the unfortunate folk on Pretoria, life was grim at best. The world existed as little more than a source of slave labour for production plants and the planet's rulers, who were among the richest in the Imperium of Man. They then used this manpower to produce goods for merchant voidcraft that would trade all over the Segmentum and beyond. Whilst there's much doom and gloom to be had in Pretoria, their guardsmen are among some of the most reliable and stoic the Imperium could hope for. Iron of will, but without all the chaos bits, and as brave as anybody could be in such an unforgiving world. They look down upon disorder, maintaining impeccable ranks, even during the most mayhem-riddled battles, dressed in parade fashion, and insisting on a perfectly fashioned uniform, even in the face of pandemonium. Their incredible displays of form unleashing volley after volley of precisely timed lasfire, making even their best trained comrades look like an absolute rabble. This all, of course, comes through barbaric training regimes. The planetary lords in Pretoria hold brutal sessions with draconian punishments for even the most menial of misdemeanors, but there's no question that they get the results needed. The Praetorian Guard unfortunately don't have significant amounts of law around them, although they've notably held valiant defences during the 13th Black Crusade, waging a fight back against Abaddon the Despoiler and his forces of chaos, defending the Cadian Gate, and have even stood toe-to-toe in an infamous battle known as the Massacre of Big Tooth River, where that regiment unfortunately fell in a massacre at the hands of orcs. While these absolutely spiffing gents sound too good to be true, we're unlikely to see new official miniatures anytime soon. They did have a range released in around the late 90s if I'm not mistaken, but given their look is inspired by the British infantry during the famous Anglo-Zulu War of 1879, it's unlikely that we'll see them back on the shelves. Furthermore, there's obvious references to South Africa, with the planet being called Pretoria, similar to the city of Pretoria in South Africa, which might be a little controversial too for, well, reasons. I should add though that one of my absolute favourite things about these guys is that they're a very obvious caricature of the British Empire. Absolutely incredible leaders, building off the backs of a brutal regime, dressed in fine clothing, and fighting for some rich bastards who themselves would never look down the barrel of a gun. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. The odds are that even if you have, you probably still haven't hit subscribe, so definitely consider doing so and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out on this kind of shit content in future. And if you'd like other ways to support the channel, check out the affiliate links in the description. You'll be able to find discounts, top quality service, and places that I wholeheartedly trust to deliver you great products. But that's all from me. Thank you very much for coming along. I do appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one.